Good morning everybody, it's Brigette here from Brigitte's Cottage. I'm up the back and I've just done the chooks and I just thought I'd just share with you an update where we're at with the garden. So we've got passion fruit growing over here, the figs. Oh, I haven't got any of the figs, the cockies have got them. The chickens are doing well, and that's sort of like the walkthrough that I go down to the chickens. And then we've got what we call the window trellis here. We're going in my little gate. We're entering what we call the circle garden. Although it's not really a circle, but the centre of it is. This area here is a circle, and that's what it's all been based around. This is one of my original gardens that I set up in the house when we were first here, and it used to be a veggie patch. So I'm going to put it back onto a bit more of a wider view, so you got a better view there. Thought I'd just show you what I'm doing here with the dahlias. So we've got about, there's at least 100 I think we had in pots and 100 that were in the ground. Originally we had about 230, 240 dahlias. Now we had excessive rains, so we sort of lost some of the dahlias because the necks were damaged, and I thought I had them in a really good spot, but the water was just like relentless, the rain. So anyway, in here we have our successful pots, some of them, and they're just in tubs that I got from like Bunnings, and Terry drilled holes around the bottom. I've also put them up onto the more mulchy side of things here so that it will run off. There's just a label on that pot I've got to get off. I've put them up against this screen so that will become the area for the tie point. And I've also got some in here that are that I planted in the ground. So there's a few all along here of just varieties that are spare, or I didn't have the names of the tubers, and I thought, well, I can't sell them if I don't know the names. So I'm just planting them in so that we can actually get some, success with it. So this is the window arbor, window trellis, whatever. Nasty bugs, we squish them. That's the Jerusalem artichoke, chocolate mint. I've got fennel here, and all around the edges. Oh, I've also got some raspberries here that I've tied up. I'll come back around this way and then I'll just show you where we've just walked through, that area there. Okay, so that's the chickens. Got more dahlias planted around over there, and we've got sweet peas growing against this screen. But what I've done is I've put in all these old candelabras that I use for my photo stage, and I've put them around the garden, and I've put the pots in next to them, and I've sort of put them strategically around the garden. Like there's a chrysanthemum here because that's going to need some support later too, and the dahlia next to it can grow tall, and I can use the candelabras as support, and they look quite groovy, I think. This is Mirabilis, the pink one, 4 o'clocks. There are lots of like carnations here, but it was really quite straggly, so I got in and gave it a really good tidy. I have got St. John's wort that grows down underneath the apple trees, and it's really pretty, but it's becoming a bit invasive, so I'm thinking I might actually be culling that out, because what it's done is it's grown underneath my path and it was starting to get into my garden bed, which I wasn't happy about that. We've got the Irish bells growing in there as well. And we've got some, I think this is borage that's coming up. This is borage after I've taken out the bigger borage that was over here. So we've got lots of like gifted seeds that I'll be able to put these plants in pots and sell some of them on. None of them will go to waste. Here's some more candelabras with I've got black cockatoos flying over me. You can hear it. I might be able to film them if they come over. Oh, they've gone up into the trees up in the back there. Yellow-tailed black cockatoos. They're just beautiful. I love hearing their sounds and identifying which birds are coming over. There's the Irish bells. You can see them a bit better there. And there's another dahlia in a pot ready for, oh, there they go. They're flying. You'll see them. That's the black cockatoos. Can't see them very well though, but every now and then we have them land in our trees right where I'm standing, and it's very, very special. So yes, dahlias in tubs, The worm bucket there, I'm doing a bit of a revamp on it. It needs a lid, so it's just having a freshen up. We've had really hot weather, but we got rain last night, which is good, so everything's naturally damp. So this area in here, I put the pots in around the candelabras, sort of like strategically. I'm going to put another one in on the other side of these 2 pots. Can't do much about the colour of the pots, but as the plants grow up around it, because I'm going to put plants in here as well in the bare patches, we'll put some more annuals in, that will cover up the base of the pots, and the dahlias are going to bring their storyline up higher. It should look really nice. I've also planted some specifically, like a real rainbow of colours for the dahlias, and along here we border on the pallet fence that goes into the sunshine bed. So the sunshine bed sits outside, just out there, and all these colours along here of dahlias that I've put in, they're all reds and oranges and yellows. So I will be using the fence as a stake for them, or if I need to, we've got some random sort of holes through here. Look, I'm just going to give it a go. And that's the sunshine garden there, which is all themed in sunshiny colours like the yellows, reds, oranges, burgundies, those sort of tones. Rory, come on. And I've also got the Jerusalem artichoke here, and we're going to be putting some more sunflowers around. So I want to have sunflowers here, may still grow, but it doesn't get as much sun just there. So, and I'm thinking of adding some into this area and then some along the fence line, and then a whole heap of sunflowers in here, which will really just continue that flow of a real sunshiny welcome into the garden. And there we've got the oregano, depends how you say it, Daisy the worm, and there's some pink sage growing either side, delphiniums grow around, and yeah, this is just a beautiful area. I'm thinking of putting in some more foxgloves in here. The nectarine tree is doing okay, considering it was pretty well diagnosed as a rotten tree. We've actually got some fruit on it, so that's ready to crop soon. The plums have been massive crops, but I'm going to really cut this back, this section, and make them more, you know, the espalier. We've also done a big clean-up out in our driveway, and so we have all sorts. We've created a very makeshift border around this garden because we have got a rabbit issue. But I've got some more dahlia pots here, and what I'm trying to do is create a bit of a room feel here. So I want to be able to walk in through the plum trees, which will have no fruit on them, but the trellis work will go over, and we'll be walking through basically an arbour here, and then we'll walk in, and I want to be surrounded by flowers, maybe put a little seat there, and it would be a lovely photo opportunity. And of course all of this stuff behind it will go. So that's how it's looking there. But I thought I'd let you have a little update and see. You'll be able to see how I've sort of lined the pots up. This one, I thought it was a viable tuber, and I had a funny feeling I knocked it with the hose or something, and I just can't see it. I'm just going to come in here so you'll see that effect of what I've done. It's very, very easy. What's good about the pots is great drainage. They can be moved around. I can just swap them over. I can actually know exactly what plant is in each pot because there's only one per pot. It could be really good. The downside of it is I'm going to have to keep them hydrated in the hot weather. I'm going to have to really maintain my feeding with them. But I also do that in the ground, don't I? So, look, I think it might actually be quite a good system to do. But I think there's about 20. I think there's about 20 pots in this little bay, and not sure if I'm going to be able to manage it to be that room feeling. I've got some other pots the other side that I might be able to bring over and give myself some more space over the other side of the garden, back over that way where the chrysanthemum beds are. So yeah, that's where we're at. So that's the circle garden. If I refer to the circle garden, this is to whom I am talking about. very nice, and I like it in here because it's just changed so much, and I can be out here and nobody even knows I'm in here because I've got height to stand behind, and yeah, it's pretty good. We go around. I've got a few different gates into this area as well. I've actually got 3 gates, and we'll probably make it 4 once I've got one on the driveway side. So all of these, it just takes you on a little adventure, I think. I love that. This is good Benjamin Britten, this rose, and it's actually very pretty here. But yeah, there's something about, for me, closing and shutting a gate or walking under an arbour, so that's something else that I'd like to do. I'm going to zoom you back again. So, you know, when you walk in, if I was walking underneath an arbour here, I think that would look really lovely. Now, all of this has just been made with newspapers everywhere, mulch, and brought the soil in. But there's newspapers under all of that, cardboard, and just layers and layers of like alpaca poo, cow poo, the yard mulch from the landscapers, the tree when it breaks and it peels all of its lovely bark and it changes it, drops it in the garden. I just literally break all of that up and I make the paths out of it, just so that when I'm walking I'm not on dirt. I even use my mats from the salon underneath here that are biodegradable. It's really not a very weedy area. My problem is this St. John's wort that comes underneath, and that's something that I can remove. So I've got all bluebells planted in there, so they should look very pretty when they come up for the first time properly this year. But if that St. John's wort is impeding their flowering, that's definitely another reason for it to go. But I do love this garden. And I think, you know, yes, I'm a bit of a collector. It's a bit of mess here and there, but that's a country garden, isn't it? And then round here is a few more dahlias been put in, some just bits that I rake up out from the chooks, and I've just created a little bit of a ledge here. So there was 2 chook. We've got 2 chook cages, but this was used for my dahlias last year. And then I've got like goldenrod, fennel, wormwood, lemon balm, very sort of herby area around here. And I use a lot of that herbs for lining the chook's cage. And then, yeah, it sort of like goes into a section behind it, but we'll do that another day. And some chook poo there in bags that's just getting older that I can spread out or put in a bucket of water and use. And the elderberries are starting to create new plants, sending their roots out, so they'll get dug up and either sold or put somewhere else in the garden or given away to somebody that is looking for some elderberries. But yeah, that's it. And the little Janice, she's not 100%, but she's eating and she's out and moving about, so I'm very happy that she's named after Janis Joplin. So there you go, more dahlias are in here, planted in the ground. I didn't bring the pots around here. The swan plant, I can't remember the exact name of it right now, but we are getting the little swans forming, which will be the seed production, and the monarch butterflies will be covering this soon. They'll either lay their eggs here, or the caterpillars will be eating, and you know, as you can see, the bees really love them too. They really love them. It's a very pretty looking plant. It's poisonous to us, but not to the butterflies. So very beneficial plant in the garden to bring the butterflies in and give their caterpillars something to eat. They actually, usually, they don't actually put their chrysalis on here. They put it into somewhere like the sage in the, about 5 meters away, and then the caterpillars come over here and they eat the swan plant. I think it's amazing coexistence, synergy. So yeah, there we go. We'll finish with the bee and we'll say have a great day, everybody. Okay, bye. Thanks for watching. Ta-da.